This is Atlantic Television Network Global News at 9 p.m. First, the headlines. Court reserves judgment in APC's lawsuit. Army arrests killer of FUNAB student. DSS new DG assures national security. TUC warns federal government over social unrest. Kamala Harris reacts to Georgia shooting. Terry lauds Rio Ferdinand. Joke Silva speaks on Onyeka Obenu. In the details this evening, Federal High Court in Abuja has reserved judgment in a suit filed by the All Progressives Congress against the Independent National Electoral Commission over the conduct of local government elections in Rivers State. Justice Peter Alifu said that a date for the judgment would be communicated to parties for the suit, while the judge on Thursday reserved judgment dates after counsel to all parties adopted their various legal positions for and against the suit. During the proceedings on Thursday, the court listened to all pending preliminary applications, including those seeking joinder brought by the Social Democratic Party and the Boot Party, as well as the substantive suit. And the court equally heard motions filed by Chief Goodday, SAN, which for change of counsel, and another seeking the discontinuance of the suit on behalf of the Rivers State chapter of the APC. Uche filed and argued an application for change of counsel dates dated August 28, as well as a motion for the discontinuance of the suit signed by Chief Emeka Beke, chairman of the APC Rivers State, and Sam Etetegwon, secretary APC Rivers State, respectively. Analysts have faulted the Port Harcourt Federal Constituency over the unethical conduct of its representative against practicing journalists in the state. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Open Conversation, a political analyst, Lekon Ojo, expressed dissatisfaction over the professional profiling of its representative.
I blame it all on the constituent.
Okay.
I doubt if they profile Honorable Blessing Amadi very well before she was voted to that office. Because a lot of persons, they do not know that when they vote you in to be member of State House of Assembly or House of Rep or Senate, a lot of them do not know that they are just a proxy representing the.
In view of good leadership and representation, Lekon Ojo tasked representatives to be lawfully active in delivering dividends of democracy to the people's mandate.
If you are sleeping in the House of Reps, that means your constituency is sleeping. If you are a dumb member, that means your constituency is dumb. If you are misbehaving, that means your constituency is misbehaving. And the onus lies on the people to quickly call you to order. And people need to really ask you, what have you done? Some members of House of Reps will be maybe presenting bill 4 or 5. Some are just.
This is coming as the Nigerian Union of Journalists Rivers State Council has condemned an illegal and alleged verbal attack by a House member of the House of Representatives, Honorable Blessing Amadi. Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki says he brought the People's Democratic Party presidential candidate Asue Igodalu because he needed a competent hand to pilot the affairs of the state. Obaseki said electing an incompetent governor would be a disservice to the people of Edo State. He spoke during PDP's campaign in Etsako East local government area of the state and explained he brought Igodalu to continue the good works of his administration. Edo State Ministry of Health has declared cholera outbreak in the state on Thursday after confirming 6 cases of the disease so far. The Director of Public Affairs, Ministry of Health, Dr. Stevenson Ojefo, who disclosed this during a news conference in Benin, said the 6 confirmed cases were identified among the 40 suspected cholera cases recorded to date in the state. He disclosed this while awaiting the results, while the patients were managed in accordance with cholera management protocols, adding that 3 of the confirmed cases were from Ego, 2 from Huande, and 1 from Ikboba, Oka local government area. He advised against self-medication while urging individuals experiencing watery stools and diarrhea to seek hospital treatment, and also encouraged the public to stay calm as well as practice good hygiene and sanitation, and promptly report suspected cholera cases to the relevant authorities. Analysts have commended the Lagos State government, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, on the Work From Home initiative for workers in the state. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Atlantic Blowout, a political analyst, Ekiye, said the Lagos State government has always been on the lead on contemporary initiatives in the public service.
The Lagos State government, in most instances, has been a very exemplary when it has to do with governance and leadership. And I'm not surprised for this kind of gesture again. You know, wisdom is very profitable.
Ekiye said the move will enhance efficiency following the economic situation in the country.
And we learn to leverage on the opportunities that we have and also kill the slavery mentality of workers, as in the employer or
ATN recalls the Lagos State government has extended its work from home policy for its workers for the next 3 months, while Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu approved the extension in a circular signed by the state head of service, Bode Agoro, on Wednesday. Lagos State government has empowered 200 retiring civil servants with life skills and economic support. Speaking at the closing ceremony of the 4-week training program, the Commissioner for Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Bolaji Dada, said the retirees who came from across Lagos were trained in various vocational skills, including makeup and headgear stoning, catering, throw pillow making, painting production, soap making, hairstyling, events planning, and decoration. They were also equipped with startup packs to aid their economic relief and self-reliance, and transport fare during the ceremony held at the Women Development Center, Agege, and encouraged the participants to fully leverage the skills they acquired and to make a significant impact in the communities. The Permanent Secretary of WAPA, Oluyemi Koleo Sanwo, praised the retiring civil servants for their willingness to adapt, learn, and embrace new skills. She noted that their resilience and courage were exemplary, and also expressed appreciation to Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and Dada for their support. Still in Lagos, the House of Assembly has passed a resolution seeking the establishment of guidance and counseling units in schools and religious institutions to reach out to the public and prevent such violence. The House at the plenary, presided over by the Speaker, Madashiru Obasa, said the development would further increase the state government's enlightenment campaign against domestic and sexual violence in the state, and advocated educational programs that would go beyond mere enlightenment to actively teaching children about domestic violence in schools. The Speaker said the complexities involved in cases of domestic violence, particularly the impact on children, and called for their continuous efforts in raising awareness amongst residents. The Speaker expressed concerns about the lifestyle choices of some young people, particularly boys in their teens, who are doing everything they can to own homes in affluent areas like Lagos, Lekki, and young girls who spend days out of school in a bid to make money, adding that the existing laws should be given the needed spark, while there should be improvements in sensitization and enlightenment. She stressed the urgency of sustaining awareness and educating the youths while calling on the relevant authorities and ministries to intensify their efforts. Still in Lagos, Environmental Protection Agency has shut down several establishments in the Alausa, Ikeja, Ogba, Sulere, Yabo, Saba, Ebutemeta and Shomolu areas of the state over violation of environmental laws. The agency made this disclosure in its post in its X handle on Thursday. The General Manager, Dr. Babatunde Ajayi, said the agency's commitment to strict enforcement of environmental laws is to ensure businesses must recognize their environmental responsibilities and collaborate with the state government to ensure a noiseless, cleaner, and more sustainable Lagos state. The enforcement operation underscores LASEPA's dedication to maintaining Lagos state status as a leading hub of excellence and a peace-setter state committed to ensuring a clean and sustainable environment for all residents. Nigerian Army has confirmed the arrest of one Adeleye Ayomide as the suspect responsible for the death of a 300-level student of the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, Ogun State, Idowu, Christiana. The deceased was abducted by suspected kidnappers along the Ikorodu-Yaba Road, Lagos State, on Monday, August 19, 2024, while a family source said, on condition of anonymity, that the abductors initially demanded a ransom of 3 million naira before they could release the student. However, after several pleas, the abductors accepted 350,000 naira, which was sent to their accounts, but they refused to free the kidnapped students. And when contacted, the spokesperson, 81 Division Nigerian Army, Lieutenant Colonel Abisi Ayemi, confirmed Ayomide's arrest via a telephone. Ayemi said the suspect was arrested by men of the 174 Battalion. Suspected gunmen have kidnapped Governor Seyi Makinde's ally and chieftain of the People's Democratic Party in Oyo State, Otumba Benedict Akika, popularly known as Bini, at Olahundaba in Lagelu local government area of the state late last night. Eyewitness said he was abducted at the Idi Akpe residence along Akoko Ojurin Ihonda Road, Ibadan, and one person was killed during the incident. Incidents surrounding the kidnap are still sketchy, as relevant authorities said they are still on top of the situation. Efforts to contact the state headquarters of the police on the development proved abortive, as the public relations officer SP Adewale Osifeso did not respond to his calls. Unidentified gunmen suspected to be bandits in their numbers attacked Magama-Jibia border town in Jibia local government area of Katsina State, kidnapping at least 3 persons and leaving 5 others injured. Eyewitnesses said the bandits were armed with sophisticated guns, including AK-47 rifles, while a member of the Jibia Security Committee said the bandits overpowered the security personnel who were deployed to repel them and shot sporadically to scare the residents, most of whom were preparing to go to bed for sleep. The residents called on Jibia Vigilante Group commanders to always mobilize themselves and patrol Magama, Kaga, Faru, Rijia, Malamia, Mia Kwari, and Jibia Maje, including Bayan, Asibiti community, and insisted that the general public must stand firm to confront the bandits. The spokesman of the Katsina State Police Command, ASP Abubakar Sadiq, who confirmed the attack on Thursday, said the police had earlier deployed a team of officers to the scene where they repelled the attack and rescued 3 abducted persons unhurt. Chief of Defense Staff Christopher Musa has stressed on the operational readiness of troops towards addressing the security challenges in the Northwest. While promising the soldiers improved welfare and weapons, he also urged them to remain patriotic. A statement by the Acting Director of Defense Information Brigadier General Tukur Gusau, Katsina State Governor Riku Rada, said he was in a state on the instructions of President Bola Tinubu to assess the joint operation areas. The governor, according to another statement by his media aide Issa Makdad, said the state was planning to train more men for the state security outfit Katsina Community Security Watch for deployment to 10 local government areas that will involve local communities in activities that enhance safety across the state. While addressing troops, the defense chief enjoined them to be more patriotic, committed, and exhibit professionalism in their discharge of their constitutional responsibilities, and pledged to improve troops' welfare and the provision of adequate equipment to arrest insecurity. Benue State House of Assembly has approved Governor Hyacinth Alias' request for a sum of 6.6 billion to conduct the local government elections in the state slated for October 5, 2024, while the opposition party's People Democratic Party questioned the justification for such a huge budget, wondering whether the local government pool would even hold. The 6.6 billion approved was granted by the lawmakers in a unanimous voice vote during Wednesday plenary session, presided over by the Speaker Hyacinth Dajo. The lawmakers acted on the governor's supplementary budget estimate towards the conduct of local government elections in fiscal year 2024 to the Assembly, and a unanimous voice vote, members of the Assembly approved the supplementary budget. But reacting to the developments, the immediate past publicity secretary of the Benue PDP, Bemba Lotiyom, described the 6.6 billion budget for local government pool as another chunk of money down the drain. He added that Alias' administration has been breaking every record available in recklessness, visionless, and breeding unprecedented malad administration. Analysts have expressed existing difficulties in the bid to purchase petroleum products from the NNPC amidst the present economic condition in the country. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Society Watch, a public affairs analyst, Ike Chukwu, who disclosed this while purchasing fuel from the NNPC, demanded full availability of the product on reduced prices.
Said when available, it's not always available. How many people can buy from the NNPC? Go to NNPC on Aba Road there's a long queue. Somebody said the other time he spent 14 hours to buy fuel. That's a productive hour. That man hour lost. That means, I mean, how many hours is even the man hour? 8 to 9 hours. By the time you spend 14 hours, that means if it were to be calculated, you have even done over.
Ike Chukwu said traders will carry out their businesses to make profits through black market brisk business.
You take a holistic look at the factors that affect the price of goods as services. See, since we started seeing this inflation in recent time, you are yet to see any of these persons, either traders or transporters, that have automatically become rich because they are charging more. It tells you something. The money they charge don't go to them. They buy at exorbitant price.
This is coming as most filling stations in Makurdi were locked up, probably without products to sell to desperate motorists. But the few that had products sold between 980 naira and 1,100 per litre. However, black marketers who were seen doing brisk business around the town were selling at 1,500 naira per litre. Gombe State Executive Council has approved the 2025-2027 medium-term expenditure framework encompassing the economic and fiscal update, fiscal strategy paper, and the payment of 265 million naira as earned academic allowance arrears to Academic Staff Union of Universities, Gombe State University Branch. The Commissioner for Information, Culture, and Ethical Orientation, Mijin Yawa Tilde, who disclosed this after the 41st Executive Council meeting presided over by Governor Muhammadu Yahaya, said the medium-term expenditure framework would serve as the basis for preparing the 2025 appropriation bill, adding that the Executive Council also approved 394 million naira. This was for the completion of projects at the Muhammadu Buhari Industrial Park, including fencing, gully erosion control, and consultation payments. The council also deliberated on the request for 394 million for the completion of some projects at the Muhammadu Buhari Park and approved the fluctuations, which consist of improvements in the fencing, as well as some gory treatments and, of course, payments to the consultants that are supervising the project. Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang has dismissed insinuations that the state was witnessing an upsurge in violent attacks and killings. He was reacting to the attack by gunmen, which claimed the lives of 8 persons in the Dapo and Kwata communities of Boko's local government area of the state on Tuesday night. Represented by his special advisor on security and homeland safety, Brigadier General Gaji Shipu, the governor said investigation had been launched into the killings. A statement issued by the spokesman for the 3rd Division Nigerian Army, Aliyu Danja, described the situation, the 2nd Schedule Range classification, as an exercise conducted biannually to all the formations and units of the Army for its personnel across the country, adding that the 3rd Division 2nd Schedule Range classification exercise is designed to assess the serviceability of the Nigerian Army arsenal and at the same time to test the effectiveness of troops' skills in weapon handling and ascertain their battle readiness. He also said the exercise serves as an avenue for troops to sharpen their marksmanship skills to ensure minimal casualty and waste of ammunition when deployed in battle or internal security operations, while the range classification exercise serves as an avenue to fostering mutual and cordial inter-agency relationships with sister security agencies through novelty shooting exercises where heads of security agencies, government functionaries, as well as traditional rulers, retired senior officers, corps members, and members of the media will take part in the exercise. Do not forget you're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be back after this short break. Stay with us.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN. From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
Welcome back. This is the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. Deputy spokesman of the House of Representatives, Philip Agbese, says the former Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, cannot take over the oversight duties of the Parliament, even as Chief of Staff to President Bola Tinubu. Agbese, who disclosed this in Abuja, in a reaction said, Gbajabiamila did nothing wrong for embarking on oversight visits to some government agencies, adding that oversight of agencies is a role traditionally reserved for the National Assembly and the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. The report also said the Chief of Staff had visited the National Agricultural Land Development Authority and the Bureau of Public Procurement, as well as the Bureau of Public Enterprises, the Nigerian Atomic Energy Commission, and the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure. He was also reported to have visited the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, the Nigerian Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, the National Emergency Management Agency, and the National Hajj Commission, stressing that Gbajabiamila was at liberty to visit government agencies, being a part of the executive firm, and that such visits could not take the place of the oversight duties of the parliament. Minority Caucus of the House of Representatives has vehemently rejected the recent fuel price increase by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, warning the federal government to urgently reverse the increase. Condemning the price hike, the caucus said the development was not only ill-timed but also grossly insensitive to the harsh economic conditions being experienced by Nigerians across the country. A statement signed by the minority leader of the House of Representatives, Kingsley Chinda, warned the fuel hike will ultimately erode the already fragile purchasing power of millions of citizens, pushing more families into abject poverty. The minority caucus of the House of Representatives has vehemently rejected the fuel price increase by the Nigerian Petroleum Company. Federal government has raised the university admission age limit from 16 to 18 years after it sparked intense debate amongst educators, parents, students, and other stakeholders in the country. The Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, who disclosed the development, said the change is in line with the 6-3-3-4 education system, which provides for 6 years of primary school and 3 years of junior secondary school, as well as 3 years of senior secondary education and 4 years of tertiary education. He also said the advantages of raising the admission age limit to 18 was to allow students to mature mentally and emotionally before entering the university, adding that the new policy is in alignment with what obtains in parts of Europe and North America. Professor Maman said the development is in agreement with the United Kingdom primary education, which starts school age at 5 and continues up until 11, and secondary school from 11 to 16 years. Students then have the option to continue their education for an additional 2 years from ages 16 to 18 in preparation for university. Our correspondent in Abuja, Joseph Moses Mawiyinka, completes the story with Street Broadcast.
Hello and welcome to Atlantic Television Network Street Broadcast. I am Joseph Moses. This is what we do in the street of Abuja, discussing issues that bother Nigerians. Last week, the Minister of Education, Professor Tairu Mama, said, going forward, Nigerian students or children will have to get to 18 years of age before processing for admission to university, so that they will enter university with matured mind, and thereby helping them to be there as an adult, knowing what is right and knowing what is wrong. But this has raised an alarm between the parents of Nigeria children, civil society, activists, and so many others, analyzing issues that has to do with education. Will this actually help the children after graduating from their secondary school? What would they be doing? Won't they be at risk of getting spoiled at home in society before they get exposed to knowledge? This and so many other questions we will be asking Nigerians in the street to get their take.
And the reason why I said the idea is good, because the children now go to university early. They go to university at the age of 13, at the age of 14. Before you know, that is why we have a bad society now, because they did not reach that adult stage and they feel that they go to university, they are adult. So that's why we see our children going around half naked. So for that one, where Baba Tinubu they talk, me I did with Tamu for that one, we talk. The children, they should have patience. They should have patience with the government until they reach that age, because it's good for them.
Yes, that is the original plan of Nigerian education. Because the program is 6 years in primary school, 6 years, at that time is 5 years in the in our own period, 5 years in secondary school, then 4 years in university, or 6 years. So before you out of secondary school, you must be 18. If your education is fast, it must be 17. But now we have 14, 15 out of secondary school, and they want to go to university. They don't have the matured mind to go there, and that is why if they went to university at the early stage, the peer group influence can be on them. I get them. But 18 years old is matured enough to know what is good for him. Nobody can convince him to do things that is wrong. But 14, 15, they can still influence them. I think it's very, and it will reduce the educational tensions.
Children going to writing jam from 18 years, I totally disagree with that. In a nation whereby we still permit child marriage, but we don't permit child education, it's out of place. And also number two is anti-people's, anti-masses project, because their kids, those ones propagating the law, their kids are 15, 16, are already abroad schooling, coming back to grab all the jobs that is meant for the masses. Most of the job will say less than 20, less than 25 years, and you must have some experience. If you enter school at let's say 19, 20 and finish at 20, 25, 30, 25, when are you going to get experience? It's just it's just a way to further impoverish the poor and also deal with them, which is a tool the leaders have been using against the masses, and they keep bringing this tool one after the other. I urge every right-thinking person to speak against it. That is all I can say about this case.
I totally disagree with what Honorable Minister said. With due respect, he mentioned this from his own perspective of understanding. From psychological point of view, we have different talents that Almighty bless us with. And now, when we talk of somebody to restrict somebody from the opportunity and the talent which Almighty provided to him, is totally unacceptable. It's something that will bring our country back. When you go to European, or let me mention the wise country now. When you go to some other countries like Europe, you will see those that finish school. You will see somebody at the age of 25. It's a PhD holder. Why is it in Nigeria we cannot think of progressing to reach some way? In the next 21st century, we are thinking of reaching where they have reached for the past 50 years. So, on that aspect, and when we go to part of religion, being a Muslim, I will never go with this decision, because whenever somebody is bringing something that is going to tarnish the image of my religion, I will not tolerate it, I will not follow it. When we go to issue of religion, female children, because they are now growing because of the kind of fertilizer we are using. You will see someone is 13 years, but when you look at her, she's big, she's matured, she's equivalent to someone of 35 years of yesterday. So when we decided to deny them from this opportunity, we are coming back. We are drawing our country back instead of moving forward. So on my own part, forward ever, backward never.
But, I'm not in support of what the Honorable Minister says concerning the age bracket of children. One, if you say that you should, a child must enter into university before he's 18 years, you understand? And you now stop the child. Whether you stop the child or you didn't stop the child is learning. Whether you say he should not enter, he must enter to 18, and the child maybe finish secondary school at the age of 16 years, and you say the child will not enter until he's 18. As you stop him or her, the child is learning. He's learning either bad or good. My own is, let the Honorable Minister look into the school education and know how to fix this issue of ASU strike, other things. developing the university curriculum. You understand? Making it so that we can be measuring with other developed country. This thing is we don't need something like this now. That is me.
Thank you for being with us. I still remain Joseph Moses. You have had some discussions with Nigerians in the streets. We hope that this could help the Ministry of Education to adjust. If it is necessary for the children to get to 18, so be it. If it is not, then it means there is need for adjustment, that Nigeria education will get better. I am Joseph Moses, reporting for Atlantic Television Network.
New Director General of the Department of State Services, Adeola Ajayi, says the agency would step up covert operations in gathering intelligence and confronting national security. Ajayi said the DSS would also scale back on operations of the media, and President Bola Tinubu had appointed Ajayi on August 26, 2024, following the removal of Yusuf Bichi and assumed office on August 28, 2024. While addressing a press conference, Ajayi said the security agencies needs to concentrate on its core mandate of covert operations so as to strengthen national security rather than being seen and heard. And former DSS Director in charge of Public Relations and Strategic Communications, Peter Afunaya, announced his redeployment. Afunaya said the agency was determined to keep Nigerians informed with accurate and relevant information whenever the need arises. Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria has charged the federal government to take immediate action against Kingsley Ogaigbe, a Nigerian residing in Vienna, Austria, for making inflammatory and dangerous statements threatening mass killings in Nigeria of Igbo extraction. Huriwa condemned the hateful rhetoric and urged the Nigerian authorities to apply the same level of commitment and pressure as was done in the case of Canada-based Miss Amaka Sonbeja, who advocated for the poisoning of Yorubas and Benin people and was subsequently arrested by Canadian authorities. According to the group, the call for Ugaigbe's arrest is not only a matter of justice, but a necessary step towards preventing ethnic violence and promoting peace in Nigeria. A statement signed by the National Coordinator, Comrade Emmanuel Omubiko, the Human Rights Advocacy Group, expressed deep concern over the growing trend of ethnic hate speech, which it described as a serious threat to Nigeria's fragile unity, and recalled the swift action taken by the Nigerian government when Sonbeja's video, where she called for the poisoning of certain ethnic groups, went viral. In response to the public outcry and diplomatic pressure, Sonbeja was arrested and is now facing prosecution in Canada, while the association demanded that the same approach be adopted dealing with Ugaigbe, who has openly threatened mass poisoning of Igbo people. In addition to the call of arrest of Ugaigbe, the human rights group also raised concerns about the Nigerian government's apparent tolerance of anti-Igbo sentiments within its ranks, while the organization urged President Bola Tinubu to immediately sack Bayo Onanuga, his special assistant in strategic communications, whom is described as a notorious Igbo hater, and reiterated its call for the immediate arrest of Kingsley Ugaigbe, stressing that there must be no double standards in the fight against hate speech and incitement to violence, regardless of the ethnic group involved. National Chairman of the Labour Party, Julius Abure, the National Secretary, Umar Farouk, and the National Youth Leader, Kennedy Ahanotu, were conspicuously absent at the large stakeholders meeting of the party held in Umuahia, Abia State capital. This is coming after the governor of Abia State, Alex Oti, had convened the stakeholders meeting with the aim of resolving the lingering leadership crisis in the party. And although the presidential candidate of the party in the 2023 governorship presidency election, Peter Obi, threw his weight behind the meeting, while Abure had last week warned Oti to face governance and stop meddling in party administration. According to a communique issued at the end of the meeting and read by a member of the party, Pwajok Edward. The stakeholders set up a 29-member caretaker committee to resolve the crisis within the party. The committee, headed by Senator Nenadi Usman as chairman and Senator Darlington Waukecha as secretary, was given 90 days to resolve the crisis in the party, but the Independent National Electoral Commission had said the party has no leadership. Reacting to the statement issued a few hours after the meeting, the National Publicity Secretary of the Labour Party, Obiora Ifo, stressed that OT lacked the local standing to oversee such a crucial meeting as if it was an extension of his state's activities. United Nations Children Fund says primary health care is important and it is the cornerstone of the health sector. The Chief of Health for UNICEF Nigeria, Dr. Eduardo Celades, who disclosed this in Dutse, Jigawa State, at a 2-day media dialogue and field trip on strengthening PHC system, said the MOU was signed in 2022 between the Jigawa State government, the federal government, the Nigeria Governors Forum, Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, and UNICEF to improve routine immunization and PHC systems and reduce deaths, particularly among women and children. Celades said the primary health care is important and it is the cornerstone of health sector, as it accounts for 90% of the diseases that can be treated in primary health care. Director of Primary Health Care in Jigawa State, Dr. Shehu Sambo, said the state is harnessing the resources from the Gavi MOU to change the PHC narrative for positive impact in the state, while the state is committed to improving the primary health care in the state to bring in services for health and well-being closer to communities. Federal government has approved a 50% increase in the feeding allowance for inmates in Nigeria, effective from August 2024, and the measures aims to address rising food costs and towards improving inmate welfare. The spokesperson for the Nigerian Correctional Service, Abubakar Umar, who confirmed the increase, described it as the first phase of a broader view intended to enhance living conditions for inmates, adding that further reviews would allow, particularly due to soaring costs of food, would follow. Umar said the need for an increase in the feeding allowance has been in public concern, especially after it was revealed in December 2023 by the Controller General of the Nigerian Correctional Service, Haliru Nababa, that 750 naira was allocated per day for each prisoner, while 800 naira was spent daily on feeding each of the 900 dogs in the service. This sparked public outrage and led to an investigation ordered by the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, into the conditions at the facility, and the incident does not reflect the overall standards of care and commitment to inmate welfare across the country. Economic Committee of West African States has launched an initiative to enhance its collaboration with government-owned media across the region. The effort aims to promote accurate reporting of ECOWAS activities and tackle the growing issue of disinformation. The event themed strategic engagement and public actors in our member states to strengthen collaboration and positive coverage of ECOWAS programs and to combat disinformation in West Africa coincides with ECOWAS 50th anniversary celebrations. On Thursday, the Chief of Staff in the Office of the President of the ECOWAS Commission, Honorable Abdul Koli, who addressed media leaders across West Africa in an inaugural high-level consultative meeting in Abuja, said the two-day event is part of the broader efforts to ensure media outlets serve as key partners in promoting ECOWAS' mission for regional integration, peace and development. In his address, delivered on behalf of the ECOWAS President Dr. Omar Touye, Koli stressed that the critical role the media plays in shaping public opinion and influencing the socio-political landscape, adding that misinformation, particularly on social media, remains a significant challenge for the organization, while making accurate media coverage essential. In business news this evening, transportation fares have increased by at least 50% in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, amid the recent hike in the price of premium motor spirits. This comes as the fuel price was increased to 897 naira and 980 naira in Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited retail outlets and independent marketers filling station in Abuja from 617 to over 1,000 naira. The development has pushed up the cost of production of transportation in the nation's capital, while Ismail Adanjuma, the secretary of the Zuba branch of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, blamed the transport fare hike on fuel price increase. This comes as the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria has said that the recent pump price hike will further worsen Nigeria's inflation, which stood at 33.40% in July. Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has stopped the sale of premium motor spirits or petrol to Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria amid the product price increase. The development comes as the pump price of fuel hit in major filling stations in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Lagos, Delta, and Enugu State upon NNPC upward review price. Meanwhile, independent marketers sold at 1,200 naira and 1,200 naira per litre respectively in some states following the upward review of the prices by the NNPCL. And despite the petrol pump price hike, the majority of filling stations are not dispensing fuel in major cities across the country. Consequently, the National Vice President of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Hamid Fashola, in a statement had barred its members from getting petrol at depots. National President of IPMAN, Abubakar Maigani, has said he was yet to speak of the matter of the filing of this report, while a spokesperson of the NNPCL, Oluwafemi Soneye, has not reacted to the development. Network Against Corruption and Trafficking has condemned the sudden hike in the premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, which skyrocketed to 897 naira per litre, as approved by the retail division of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. A statement signed by the operational manager Stanley Ugagbe in Abuja said the increase is a direct betrayal of public trust and unequivocally rejects the hike in fuel prices and demands an immediate reversal. It described the development as an egregious affront to the collective well-being of the Nigerian people, who have already been subjected to untold hardships by a series of failed policies, adding that the government's cavalier attitude towards the suffering of the masses is deeply troubling and unacceptable, and demanded an immediate reversal. The group also expressed shock at the revelation of the Nigeria Labour Congress about the fuel price increase and minimum wage, noting that we are appalled by revelations from the NLC that this hike in fuel prices directly contradicts the understanding reached with the federal government regarding the 70,000 naira minimum wage. The anti-corruption and trafficking body also said corruption thrives where poverty prevails. Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited says 188 incidents of oil thefts were recorded in the past week, and incidents were recorded from August 24 to 30th. According to the NNPC, several illegal connections were uncovered during the week in Bayelsa, Abia, and Rivers, while illegal refineries were also destroyed in Abia and Rivers states. The NNPC also said illegal storage sites resembling pond-like reservoirs were discovered in Abia, while crude oil spills occurred in Abia, Rivers, and Bayelsa as a result of illegal connections, adding that vandalism incidents were noted and a boat carrying metals from vandalized oil wellheads was accosted in Rivers State, while on land, trucks and vehicles were stolen crude were seized at various locations in Delta State. While lamenting the spate of oil theft in the Niger Delta region, the Group Executive Officer of NNPC, Mele Kyari, contended that going by the volume of oil stolen daily and the arrogance which perpetrators operate, crude oil theft was the most humongous and virulent economic crime in Nigeria that must attract the attention of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. This is coming after the FCC chairman Ola Olukoyede had said during a meeting in March that such oil theft does not happen anywhere else in the world. The Trade Union Congress of Nigeria says the recent Premium Motor Spirits petrol pump price increase will cause social unrest in Nigeria. The kicked against the increase in the pump price of petroleum, warning that it could worsen poverty amongst workers. The union disclosed this in a statement signed by its president, Festus Osifo, that the pump price of petrol was increased to 887 naira and 855 naira per litre. Nigerian Bar Association has condemned the recent increase in the pump price of fuel by the Nigerian Petroleum Company Limited. The new NBA president, Mazi Afam Osigwe, said the sharp rise in the pump price from 565 naira per litre to 900 is unacceptable. The statement issued on Thursday, Osigwe expressed regret that this significant and abrupt hike has imposed an unbearable burden on the already overstretched finances of ordinary Nigerians, which further aggravates the economic challenges faced by millions in the country. You're still watching news on Atlantic Television Network. Up next is the international tidbits. Venezuelan opposition candidate Edmundo González Urrutia has been threatened with arrest for insisting he was the rightful winner of July presidential elections. González Urrutia is the target of an arrest warrant issued over the opposition's insistence that incumbent President Nicolas Maduro stole the July 28 vote. The opposition released polling station level results shows González Urrutia won by a landslide, while Venezuela's electoral authority announced a win for Maduro within hours of poll closing, but failed to provide a full breakdown, claiming a cyber attack on its systems. The United States, the European Union, and several Latin American countries have refused to recognize Maduro's claimed victory without seeing detailed voting results. U.S. Vice President and Democratic nominee for the forthcoming presidential election, Kamala Harris, has described the gun violence at the Appalachian High School in Georgia as a senseless tragedy. This is coming after a 14-year-old suspected shooter opened fire on students and teachers in the school, killing at least 4 persons. According to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, 9 other persons, including a teacher and 8 students, were hospitalized after the incident. Reacting, the VP, in a statement on her official X handle, condemned the incident as on the deaths of those whose lives were cut short by the gun violence in the high school in Georgia. Pope Francis has appealed for religious unity after he addressed tens of thousands of people at a football stadium to faith leaders of Southeast Asia's biggest mosque in Indonesia. The 87-year-old pontiff met Grand Imam Nasaruddin Umar at Jakarta's Istanbul Mosque, where he signed the declaration warning against using religion to stoke conflict and appealed for action against climate change. Francis' packed schedule on Thursday capped the first stop of a grueling Asia-Pacific tour, the longest of his papacy, that will take him to Papua New Guinea-Bissau on Friday, to the East Timor and Singapore. He appeared to be in good spirits despite fears over his health as he addressed excited Catholics who make up about 3% of the population in Indonesia, the world's most populous Muslim-majority country. While the crowd had arrived on packed buses hours before, many of them wearing T-shirts showing the Pope and taking group photos with the huge stadium in the background. Pope Francis stood up to speak and start the Mass despite humid conditions, and had not traveled abroad since visiting Marseille in France in September last year, and as standard procedure has been accompanied by his personal doctor and 2 nurses. Chinese leader Xi Jinping says he would be in deepened cooperation in infrastructure to trade with continents as he addressed Beijing's biggest summit in 50 years. More than 50 African leaders and UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres are attending the week's China-Africa Forum. African leaders already secured this week a plethora of pledges for deeper cooperation in infrastructure, agriculture, mining, trade, and energy. Addressing the leaders at the forum opening ceremony in Beijing on its Great Hall of the People on Thursday, Xi Jinping hailed ties with the continent as in their best period in history, adding that China is ready to deepen cooperation with African countries in industry, agriculture, infrastructure, trading, and investment. French President Emmanuel Macron has named Michel Barnier as Prime Minister almost 2 months after France's snap elections ended in political deadlock. Barnier, 73, in the EU, former chief Brexit negotiator, and led talks with the UK government between 2016 and 2019. And as a veteran of the right-wing Republican Party, he has had a long political career and filled various senior posts in France and in the European Union. He will now have to form a government that will need to survive a National Assembly divided into 3 political blocs, with none able to form a clear majority. While 3 years ago, Barnier said he wanted to take on President Macron for the French presidency, saying he wanted to limit and take control of immigration, and failed to be selected as the candidate by his party. Known in France as Monsieur Brexit, Barnier will be France's oldest prime minister since the Fifth Republic came into being in 1958, adding that he is set to succeed Gabriel Attal, France's youngest ever prime minister, who President Macron first appointed prime minister in early 2024, and who has stayed in post as caretaker since July. In sports this evening, Victor Osimhen has on Wednesday night boarded a private jet bound for Nigeria after he was formally unveiled as a Galatasaray player. The 25-year-old has agreed a season-long loan move from Napoli with the Turkish agents. With his future looking to be in limbo at the Serie A side, Osimhen is able to secure the temporary move. Having wrapped up the transfer, Osimhen is now heading to Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital, to meet up with his Super Eagles teammates, and Osimhen is expected to be the last player that will arrive in camp. The 3-time African champions are scheduled to play Benin Republic this Saturday in 2025 African Cup of Nations qualifier, and 3 days after, Nigeria will travel to face Rwanda. Chelsea legend John Terry has lauded Rio Ngoma well after the young winger left the club to join Premier League rivals Liverpool. Ngoma, who featured for Chelsea's under-21 side at the age of 15, signed a scholar's contract with Liverpool. The England young international will begin in Liverpool's under-18 side, while the final stages of the deal have now been ratified by the Premier League, but a tribunal may still have to be set up to agree a compensation fee between Liverpool and Chelsea. Ngumoha could make his debut for Liverpool against Blackburn Rovers this next Saturday. In entertainment, veteran Nollywood actress Joke Silva has detailed her last moments with late singer Onyeka Onwenu. This is coming after the ace singer Onyeka Onwenu died in July 2024 and collapsed at the 80th birthday party of CEO Emzor Pharmaceuticals, Stella Okole, and was buried on August 30th at the Ebony Vault in the Ikoyi area of Lagos State. Silva, who witnessed the incident, disclosed that Onwenu died nearly 2 hours after she collapsed and not immediately. In a different story, American pop star Lady Gaga says her mom, who introduced her to her fiancé, Michael Polanski, the 38-year-old singer, disclosed when she had found a husband for her after meeting the 46-year-old and never imagined that it would be her mom who would find the most perfect person for her. American pop star Lady Gaga revealed that if her mom This is coming after Lady Gaga Gaga confirmed her engagement to Polanski during a conversation with the French Prime Minister Gabriel Attal at the Paris Olympic in July. The couple first sparked dating rumors after they were spotted together at the New Year's Eve party in Las Vegas in 2019, while in early 2023, they reportedly separated for a time, according to a news outlet, but appeared to have reunited by August that year, and in March this year, they celebrated Gaga's 38th birthday with a group of friends at Hyo Baudi in California. Famous Nollywood actress Nancy Isime has stressed on why she never sits down and dreams about marriage like some other girls. She said, while revealing her brand name, it's a big deal in the Nigerian entertainment industry, and her dream was contrary to other girls who see marriage as a poverty alleviation scheme. While expressing her commitment to her craft, Isime said she always thinks about working and making her own money. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major headlines. Court reserves judgment in APC suits. Army arrests killer of FUNAB students. DSS new DG assures national security. TUC warns federal government over social unrest. Kamala Harris reacts to Georgia shooting. Terry Louds Rio. Joke Silva speaks on Oyeka Onwenu. I am David Obasi, thanking you for staying tuned with us. You can follow us on our social media platforms, Twitter at Atlantic TV.